I wish I could claim credit for creating the Question Man. I was the first to perform it, but here's the quick story on that, which is related in a book that was published called The Question Man, including a lot of the jokes we'd used on the TV show. Two of our writers, I think it was Bill Dana and Don Hinckley, who's no longer with us, great writer, came to me one day and they said, we have a new idea for a routine. I said, great, what is it? They said, well, we start a joke with the answer, and then we think of a question, and when you hear the question, you put them together in your brain and you laugh. I said, okay, give me an example. So I said, yeah, it's a clever idea, let's do it. So we began to do it about once every 2 weeks on the Sunday night comedy show. And suddenly, to my surprise, I got a letter from a man, a very nice man. His letter was worded like that of a gentleman, not an angry person. His name was Bob Arbogast. He was a Los Angeles radio personality of whom I'd never heard until that point, because by this point I'd been in New York for several years. And he said, in effect, yours is my favorite show, and a lot of other complimentary things. He said, but there's something a little awkward I have to bring up. He said, I have been doing that question thing already on my show for, I don't remember, he said several months or whatever. So I wrote back immediately, thanked him for the tone of his letter, and I said, justice should prevail here. And I said, if it is indeed the case that this is your routine originally, I said, I don't think our guys stole it from you, but apparently they thought of the same idea, but you thought of it first, so you're the boss here. I said, the only two alternatives I can think of are that either we stop doing it right away, because we don't depend on any one routine, or we continue to do it, but send you a check every time we do. So he voted for choice number 2 right away. And when anybody would ask me, I'd bring up his name and mention it in the very foreword of the book. So that's how that came to pass. I don't think I was gracious. I didn't want the man suing me, and I never liked to take other people's. So many people took my material, I didn't want to be guilty of that same crime. So that's how that started. In other words, it was not of my origination. I don't remember any that were in trouble, but some of the jokes are classics. One was written by Billy Dana, and I was later told, this was at the point a few years later when Bill was very hot with his own character, Jose Jimenez. He somehow got plugged into the astronauts program, the trip to the moon and all that. And anyway, he was a great favorite of theirs because of the jokes he did about astronaut stuff. And the Question Man joke was, the answer was chicken teriyaki. That was it. And the question is, who was the longest surviving member of the Japanese Air Force? Great joke. And we were told that that was President John Kennedy's favorite joke. Why so, I have no idea, but it's a very good joke. And in the days before we had all telephone numbers, we used to have an exchange. Another one of the good Question Man jokes was, it was an actual phone number in New York, Butterfield 85000. So that was the answer. The question was, how many hamburgers did Butterfield eat?